game contains 6 scenarios, all of which are very replayable, very modular. You can mix them up. The Keep Master gets a lot of choice into how they set the thing up. Think of them more as, they're more like scenarios in like Kings of War, for example, than they are in a scenario like Dungeon Saga, where you don't maybe play through them once. Here you will play through them multiple times. So, what are you lot over here? Right, we've got something simple for you. Remember I told you about that Drakon breeding program? We found a way in. You're going to infiltrate the place, cause a ruckus, and grab as many Drakon eggs as you can lay your hands on. And these here are Drakon eggs. You notice there are some in these rooms. It doesn't look like they're expecting you, so it should be pretty easy if you don't muck it up. And I'll add at this point, this is the third game today. The Keep Master has won games 1 and 2, and the villain players were very aware that it was their own fault this happened. While you're at it, feel free to loot anything that isn't nailed down. We'll always make sure you're rewarded if you're the one that brings back the shiniest balls. Remember, this is your chance to prove yourselves, so best behaviour. So, the game is basically won by you breaking into rooms, various rooms on the board, finding Drakon eggs, and leaving with them. That's your mission, but individually you'll be scored on how much infamy and loot you pick up along the way. So the board is divided up into rooms and corridors. The black lines are walls, you can't move or see or shoot through them. These are doorways, you can move through those. Anything with a card or one of these tokens in it is a room you can access. Any other ones are out of play for this game in particular. And I'll explain the rest of it as we go. Right. Over here are 4 initiative tokens. First thing that happens is the Keep Master shuffles those up, and you players all pick one. Sorry, just one more time. What was everyone's name? It was Dan. Richard. Steve. And finally, Tim. I will forget otherwise. No, right down. There we go. And I'm James. Hello. Right, so all pick one of those tokens over there. The Keep Master's got. And they're numbered 1 to 4. That's basically the order that you go in. So each round you go in a different order. Flip them over so we can all see what you've got. First. Lovely. And starting with number 1, you get to place your villain adjacent to the villain entry point. So in any of the squares it's next to it.
I think it's working.
Brilliant. It's working. Hooray!
Oh, it's working! Hey! Finally!
The standees, obviously, this is a work in progress prototype we're using here. Your standees have got, one side has got the artwork in full colour with the name, that's the front. The other side is kind of greyed out, and that's the back. You've got to be adjacent to rather than on. Cool. Think of it as a big swirling magic portal that's just dumped you into the room. Right then, okay. At the start of the round, also the Keep Master draws 5 alarm tokens.
Yeah. Can I look at these?
You can look at those, yeah, and grab 5 of these as well. And then we are into things. So, any questions before we get started? Brilliant. Okay, good. Start with player number 1. If you want, you can swap your initiative token with one other player. That will probably become more important as we get into the scenario, but it's a good thing to be aware of. Which means it's Tim's go.
So I can move 5.
So what you've got, if you've played Dungeon Saga or Star Saga, the action sequence is a little bit different here. These 3 tokens in front of you, the 3 coloured ones, they're 3 actions, and you use an action to move, fight, shoot, recover some damage, etc., etc. You can duplicate actions, so for example you could do 3 move actions, you do 3 fight actions, or whatever. If someone playing Karzal Runesbane, you can make 3 shoot actions and then get a 4th one for free, because making noise is fun. You spend those. In between actions you can make what's called free actions, which the main one you'll use is opening and closing doors. So for example you can spend 1 action to move up to a door, free action to open it, 2nd action to move in, 3rd action to fight. Your fight, shoot, recover, all your basic actions that aren't move also include a free step. This is a 1 square move that you do either before or after the action. So for example, if you're doing a fight action and you're 2 squares away, you can spend your step to move up and stab the guy. Or if you're adjacent to someone, stab them, they drop some loot and you step to pick the loot up. So Tim, with all that in mind, how would you like to spend your 3 actions?
So can I move diagonally?
You can move diagonally as long as both diagonals aren't blocked.
1, 2, 3, I guess can I open the door then?
Yes indeed, so the door should be Just pull it this way slightly. It should be on the space between the two squares. These two here. Free action, you open the door and you flip the chamber token inside, the storeroom token rather, and that shows a number on it. Now here's the interesting thing, the Keepmaster, although the Keepmaster is master of this domain, he does not necessarily know, because this is a sneak attack out of nowhere, the Keepmaster does not necessarily know what state the defence is doing. This means there's a random element to what is in the rooms. When you do that, number one means that the Keepmaster is going to draw one token out of this bag, and that will tell us what's in there. It might be treasure, it might be defenders, it might be things. At the start of the scenario, it's mostly treasure. Some of your cards will let you put tokens into this bag. You want to do that early on as possible because it will prevent them from being able to, just find treasure willy-nilly, really. I think, I'll generally go to discard things, yeah, so doing the strategy step, for example, to chuck those in. But as it is, draw one of these out of here.
Okay.
Let's see what we get.
Treasure.
It is a loot token, so you place that in the room anyway you like. There's a couple of rules for it, but common sense is going to prevail. Yeah, exactly. And just remove that number one. There we go. So to pick that up, you just move into the square it's in, and you draw a loot card.
Can I split my movement, or is it after?
So your free action comes at the end of your action. So that's spent your first action moving up to it. So you've got two actions left now.
So can I move and pick it up?
You can indeed. The only limit is you can only pick up one square's worth of items in a single action.
Or next to it.
Onto it.
So I can pick that up.
Then you give it to the Keepmaster and draw a loot card from the deck over there.
Okay. Which is a loot deck.
That one.
That one.
Yeah. Now, if this is a piece of stuff which is equipable, that one isn't. Pop that face down in front of you, and that's now stowed. Certain cards will interact with stowed loot. Some things that are equipable, you might bring out another sword or a bow or something.
So I've got one more action.
You have indeed.
Because two actually do that, so let's see, I might as well move, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Lovely. And make sure you're facing. I'd recommend facing out into the room just so no one's going to get behind you. That's it. Okay, that's number one done. So number two, go for it, Steve.
Safe to assume that's a locked token.
Yes. So when a door is locked, you have two options. You have the stealthy route and the other route. The stealthy route involves picking a lock, and that's a skulk test. The bottom of your card, the very bottom icon on your card in the middle, that's the number of dice you roll for a skulk test, and you have to score equal to or higher than the number on the door. So you're on 3 white dice, you need to get a 3 or higher. If you do that, if you pick a lock successfully, you remove the lock token and gain 2 infamy. That's good. Smashing a door is you just attack the door basically, you need to cause me 3 damage. The door is then smashed and cannot be opened again, and you don't get any infamy, but the Keepmaster gets 2 alarm tokens because that's allowed.
So picking the locks then.
So your move is 3, I believe,
It is,
but you do have an option.
which I should not take at the moment. 1, 2, 3,
Nice sensible play we've had all day.
2,
Yep.
and is it a free action to try to hack?
It's an action, so it'll cost your action token.
Okay, so that's my last action token.
Yeah.
And I shall roll 3.
3 white dice.
3 ones.
So the dice, if you play Hellboy, we have an upgrade downgrade system for the dice. So white is your lowest level. You can upgrade a white to an orange, and if all your dice are orange, you can upgrade it to purple. If you downgrades happen the same way. Downgrading a white die means that you lose it completely. But in this case, it's just 3 dice straight away. Perfect. So remove that lock token. Take 2 infamy tokens, and if you want, you can, as a free action, open the door. But of course, that would reveal whatever's inside there. And
Pass at the moment.
yeah. So Tony.
Okay. Right.
Yep.
Shoot.
Absolutely. So the shooting line of sight is the same as it is in Dungeon Saga and Star Saga, I believe, which is you draw a line from the centre of your square to the target square. Now, if you can see any point at the target square, you can shoot it. If you can see the entire target square, there's no penalty. If part of it's blocked, as it will be here, you're going to downgrade 1 die. Now, if you wanted to, as part of your shoot action, before shooting, you could step and put yourself around that corner, diagonally, which will give you a clear shot. Up to you entirely.
I will do that.
Good thinking.
Okay.
So So step yourself up and fire away. So you've got a shoot stat, it's the right hand side, yep. 3 dice. And your pistol means the defender's defense, the target's defense is reduced by 1. So a tall spear's got defense of 2. Generally that becomes 1. You roll your dice, subtract the defense, and whatever's left is the damage you deal. So a mighty 3 minus 1 is 2 points of damage. So you just grab 2 of these damage tokens and just pop them next to the tall spear.
How many moves does the tall spell have?
5 health.
It's going to be stabbing you soon then.
And then am I able to
You've got another action left, yes, that's 1 action to move, 1 to shoot.
shoot
You've
again?
got a 3rd action, yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
That's not as good. That's 2. Defense is still reduced by 1, so still 1 more damage.
That was not impressive.
You've got a step, so you could step back out of the way if you wanted to.
Yes.
Yeah, sensible. Right, that is Richard. Glum's let it create. Now, Glum's favourite way of attacking is to get behind someone and stab them. You tend to do more damage when you're hitting someone from behind. His other trick is to wait for someone to open a door, then run in and nick the loot. But that'll happen later, I'm sure.
It's like a fireball at the back of it comes past.
Yeah. That's 1 action.
Yep.
Let's go in.
Love it, okay.
Let's poke him.
I mean, he's wounded, so this is the ideal time to attack him. So you've got 3 fight dice. What does your throat slitter actually do?
Reduces target's defense by 1 to a minimum of 1. When
So
attacking
if you
from
want
behind.
Oh, okay, yes, it makes a difference at this point.
Yep.
So 3 dice. 2. Nothing, unfortunately. They've got a defense of 2. That's 1 action to move, 1 to attack. You got 1 action left. Do you want to go again?
Do it again. Damn.
You never stuff as 3 strikes, that mean I can run away.
Yes,
Alright.
absolutely. So 3 strikes. If you move out of an enemy's front arc, they get to hit you, unless you're Glum, in which case you're too quick.
So you can move out.
Lovely.
Heroic. Cheers.
Okie dokie. So
I
that's,
thought here would be safe, just need to move back a little, not that far.
There's an elf with the bow.
yeah, I see. Lovely. Okay, that's the end of your go. So now it is the keep phase.
Evil scared.
So the keep.
Good scared.
Yeah. So the keep master, you have three steps in your phase.
Okay.
First of all, strategy, where a lot of your cards will come in. So, for example, one which you can play in strategy phase to put some tokens into the bag. The discard part ignores what's up here, basically. So it's 2 completely separate parts of the card. So, do you have any cards you want to play in the strategy step? Generally, it's play cards, activating things on the board, and then add reinforcements. Some cards will mess around with that order.
Yeah, I think I'll play one just to see what it does.
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm going to play the this one.
Slow descent, spot that over here, discard pile. Now, we haven't seen the disorder deck yet, because you are all on best behaviour. We'll see what disorder does in a bit, but for now, take the top 2 cards of that deck and put them on the bottom. Because I know there won't be any escalation cards on the top, so that's fine. I'll explain in a little bit why that matters. So that's 1 card. Any more cards you want to play?
I'm guessing it was bad for us.
It wasn't great.
Should be fine.
So the core rules of the game are very cooperative. You cannot attack each other, you can't target each other, you can't mess with each other in any way. That's the way the game is written. Disorder cards start messing around with that and start giving you infamy rewards for maybe messing with the other players a little bit. And the more of them you play, the less likely the team is to win, but the more likely you are yourself to do well in the eyes of the league. So there's a balancing act. And generally, the most cohesive team will be doing fine until one player plays a disorder card, at which point all hell breaks loose.
Okay, so I'm going to discard one.
Yep.
To put defender 1, 2, or 3 token. Yeah, you're a tricky one.
Go for it.
So 2 down. Not in this phase, no.
So onto the defend step. In the defend step, you get 1 activation for each villain player. So 4 activations. You've only got 2 models on the board, so that's not going to matter too much.
Yep.
After you've done that, you can spend alarm tokens to activate additional models, but no model can be activated more than once. Say you've got 6 models on the board, you can spend alarm tokens to activate all 6.
So I can gradually swap
Yep.
everybody.
And when you activate your defenders, it's just like a villain activation with 2 exceptions. First of all, they only get 2 actions rather than 3.
Yeah.
And secondly, they can't duplicate. So they're much more of a traditional sort of dungeon saga Star Saga thing. They generally do a move and an attack, or an attack and a shoot, or whatever.
And they can move diagonally as well.
They can indeed. So when you've got your Gladestalker, one of the good things to do is use your step after shooting to duck out of the way. So you can move up to there, for example, and then shoot and step to get out of the line of sight. Also, your tool spears, bear in mind that they can attack from 2 squares away.
Yeah. Okay, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is going to move my tall spear.
Yep.
And he can move 5.
Yes, indeed.
So that's 1, 2.
And if you leave a model's front arc, they're going to attack you.
Okay, so
I'd recommend just step up 1 maybe.
Stab the.
Yeah. If you at least step forward 1, they're going to have to kill you to get into that room around the corner.
that is true.
So, you know, you're putting yourself in the way, and then you can stab from there.
So I'm just moving to here.
Yeah, because you could with your spear, you can fight from 2 squares away.
I can.
So a fight is, you've got fight 3 white dice, you draw 3 white dice.
Okay.
What's Muindaji's defence? Is it 1, I think?
Is that there?
That's your
Sorry.
blue number, yeah.
1.
So you're just subtracting 1 from whatever you roll.
You got better defense. I guess you just small on the dwarf.
Ooh, so 3 damage in total. So take 3 damage tokens, pop them on there. There we go. So damage counts up. When it hits your health value, you fall down. If it exceeds your health value, you take the full amount. When you pull it back down below your health value, you get back up again. So there's no player elimination. You're not dead now. You're subdued, where the elves will make sure that you see to it, you get proper sent into jail and you pay for your crimes and all that sort of stuff. They're not just going to murder you in cold blood because they're just that nice.
Am I the only one who can heal them?
You're the only one who can. You're the only one who can heal directly, but everyone can make what's called recover actions, which is let them roll an orange die and heal that much damage. Also, there'll be things like magic items and things in the loot deck that will let you heal stuff. So that's 1 action. You got your Gladestalker can now have a go.
Okay. So.
And if you can get behind someone, you will do more damage to them. So, for example, you're not going to put ideas in your head, but if you come up here, for example, you'd be behind both of these characters.
Just be very much in the open.
It's fine.
It's
It's just,
fireball not that bad.
we understand this.
Just thought I'd mention.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to try that anyway. So I
The
think
downside about having 2D standees.
Use that
unfortunately.
goes 2 dice and critical sets the target on fire.
so I've got 1.
Most of your spells will flip after being used,
Yeah.
and then you get spell energy which you can use to recharge spells. So what it effectively means for a starting character is you get to use each of these spells once per turn. As you level up, you get more options. So when you attack someone from behind, you upgrade one of your dice.
Okay,
So you go from 2 whites and an orange to 2 oranges and a white.
I like that idea. Well, I started the fight, so I'm going to pick with the same target.
Yeah.
How's range work then?
So the range ruler is over there. Short range is half the stick, long range is the whole stick. So yeah, you're in plenty of stuff. You're either in range or out of range, that's it.
Yeah.
Very binary.
Okay. This is when my roll's going to fall apart.
I'd like to say I'm sorry.
Ooh, blimey.
4.
Yeah, 4 damage, so minus your defense of 1, so that's 3 more damage.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, 5 minus, 1 so 4.
Yeah.
Blimey. Okay.
Alright.
They're only elves, it's fine.
It's okay, I'm not hurt.
Okay, you've got no more activations to make, so now it's into the reinforced step.
Okay.
Bottom left of your thing here, this is 2 things. This is the amount of infamy they get for killing that defender,
Yeah.
and it's the amount of alarm tokens it costs to bring a defender on.
Okay.
So you can spend as many alarm tokens as you want, and any defenders you buy go wait at either reinforcement point. Not quite on the board yet, but they'll then be able to come in next turn.
Okay.
we get 4 juvenile dragons
Yep.
waiting. Sit on that side.
They're only little, but they can set you on fire.
Oh, cheap. I was thinking swarm.
Yeah. And just to make you villains feel bad, this was the placeholder standee we were using for juvenile dragons. Look at how adorable that is. Just before you feel the need to, go stabbing them or anything.
And then I'll put in a glade sword and a torch spear.
Yep.
That's quite a lot more things than that.
Yeah. Those alarm tokens go a long way.
I'm assuming they're spent now.
Yep, they're gone.
Okay.
That's the end of your reinforced step.
Yep.
Which means we're now into the end phase. In the end phase, Keep Master draws up to 5 cards,
Okay.
and the villains each draw up to a hand of 1 disorder card. So disorder cards, let me tell you what these do. These are cards which you'll have a hand of 1, that's your hand size initially, it might get bigger later. You'll have 1 card in your hand. It will generally get you some infamy if you play it. Infamy is a good thing. Infamy is also good because you can use infamy whenever you make a dice roll or suffer damage. You can spend 1 infamy to either increase the dice roll result by 1 or reduce the damage suffered by 1. So infamy is good. So playing disorder cards gets you infamy, that's a good thing. It might slightly screw over with other players, but that's a decision for you to make at the time. So each of you, starting with the player number 1 and going around, draws a disorder card.
Is this sort of deck ordered in a particular way? Or
It is, slightly. What you have is, has anyone here played Pandemic?
Yes.
Yes.
So what you have is the deck is, before the game, divided into 4 piles, and the bottom 3 piles each have 1 escalation card shuffled into them. Escalation cards do things like increase the amount of infamy you get for playing disorder cards, increase the number of disorder cards you hold, give the Keep Master more alarm tokens, and so on. So disorder cards very directly benefit you, but the more of them get played, the more of those escalation cards come out, and the harder the game will be. And therein lies the interesting dilemma at the heart of League of Infamy. Right, oh, and the other thing I haven't mentioned is at the end of the game, I told you that you score points, and the winner is the winner. The winner gets a jam donut. See, and the stakes have been raised. There we go.
Can I win that?
You can.
Awesome.
So the way points are scored at the end of the game, if I tell you now so you all know, you will each get a chance throughout the game to gain infamy and loot cards. Loot cards, if I just grab one at random, have at the bottom left corner a fence value. That's how much they're worth to the league, because you're not stealing them for yourself. When you go back, you are shaken down, and everything you stole goes into the kitty. If you're good in campaign play, you might get to keep one of those cards. In this one though, the person with the highest combined fence value gets 2 points. The person with the highest amount of infamy gets 2 points. Every Dracon egg you carry off the board gets you 1 point. And if you get subdued during the mission and don't escape, you're going to lose some loot and some infamy. The Keep Master scores 2 points for every villain who is subdued at the end of the scenario. So, doing some quick maths there, you're probably going to average out getting around 3 points, probably, if you get the top of one thing in a Dracon egg, maybe. If the Keep Master gets 2 villains down, that's a win to the Keep Master. And that's how the Keep Master has won the first 2 games today. So, bear that in mind and consider how much you want to screw each other over in order to win that tasty, tasty jam donut. Right, a new round begins. First thing that happens is the initiative tokens are shuffled, and also the Keep Master draws 5 alarm tokens.
5 alarm tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's 1 for you and 1 for each of them, basically. Okay, pass those out. The other thing that's worth knowing about Infamy, now obviously none of you got well actually only one of you has got any so far. Infamy tokens are abstract, so whereas the loot is very much a physical thing, you can trade it with actions, Infamy tokens can be traded between players at any point in exchange for favours, help, preferential treatment, swapping numbers, for example. Would anyone like to do any swapping now, or are you happy with the order you've got? You good?
What's the stuff on the disorder cards?
So, the number at the bottom in the circle is the amount of infamy you will get for playing it. If it has got an X or a 0, that generally means the text will tell you what you earn. Okay.
Okay, I'll start if I may. To
Yep.
make a shoot action.
Go for it. So you step and you can turn freely with that.
Yep. And that's. And then that we'll go and upgrade that one.
Yep.
To
To an orange.
an orange.
Purple would be ridiculous.
carry away.
Yeah. And you're using twin pistols, yeah?
Yep. Go
Cool.
twin pistols and you shoot this guy.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I've got a defense of 1.
So 3 damage.
So
If you wanted to, you could chuck 1 infamy into that to make that +1 basically, but it still wouldn't be enough to kill him, so it's probably not worth it.
Take a second action to shoot him again.
Yep. That's a elf.
yeah.
Now, when you kill an elf, you get 2 infamy points. That's the amount that's worth. Also, you roll the yellow die, which is known as the loot die. You will know it, come to know it soon by its secret name, the alarm die. If you score a 3 or higher, it's going to drop some loot. Is that a 4?
Yeah, it's a 4.
So, Keepmaster, plop a loot 1 in the square that the defender was in. And anyone can now move over that and pick it up. You'll notice there are 2 faces on the loot die that just give the Keepmaster an alarm token. You've got 1 action left.
One action, I will then.
I can see where you're going with this.
Yep. He's going to turn to make a third shoot at this guy.
Yep.
Which is 6.
Blimey, 6. He's gone.
Did you get your downgrade for not being able to see the whole of the square?
Is that going to...
He's already got 3
That
damage.
should be alright.
Yeah, because yeah.
Oh, sorry. I could have moved there if that makes any difference.
I think from the centre of the square you're going to be able to see it anyway.
Yeah,
I think it's close, isn't it? Yeah, it's fine. He's dead, whatever. So that's 2 infamy and an alarm. Sorry, I roll on the loot die. Is that another loot? Oh my goodness.
And I'll loot 1 on
I think last game we played, not a single kill dropped any loot. Apparently they were saving it all up for today. But now you get a free shoot action. Not that you can do anything with it because you've killed all your targets. But that is Carzol's rule. If you do 3 shoots, you can do 1 more. You've got a step, so you can step one square. Not that it's going to make much difference.
I don't know.
Oh, isn't it?
No, we'll wait for a moment.
Okay, cool.
That's 2 more infamy.
2 more infamy, yes indeed. And having used your pistols, that gives the Keepmaster an alarm token. Because it's a little bit loud. It's a little bit loud.
What?
We've decided, like, our canon for that character is that he is completely deaf and he thinks he's stealthy. He's not stealthy. So that's you done. Number 2. Ready?
Okay, I will.
Just hoover
How
up all the
do you
loot.
heal?
Sorry? How do you heal?
You may want to potentially think about
It's not a bad idea. So healing is an action.
some form of healing.
Roll an orange die, heal that much damage.
So if I move loose, it's
So you
single-
can, so you pick it up as you move, so you can carry on moving. So you've moved 2 squares, you've got, is it 4 more?
1, 2, 3, 4,
Brave.
6.
Yeah. Discard the loot token, give it back to the Keepmaster,
6.
and draw a loot card.
Okay.
Is that something you can equip? Let's have a look. Oh, that is, so you keep that stowed in front of you and you can discard it at any point to use it.
And then I'll use my next 2 actions to rest.
Nice. So 2 rolls of the orange die.
1.
1.
yay.
2. Right. Okay. So you can move through friendly models if that changes anything at all? Probably not. No. But of course you could then step. Well, that's not gonna. Yeah.
I'll have to use 2 to get it, won't I?
Yeah. But you could use the second movement, for example, to move up
To the door.
to this door and then pick the lock, which gets you infamy.
Okay. So I'll do that. Second
Yep.
action. Hoovering that up, move to there.
Yep, lovely.
So
Oh, hold your horses.
I'll go to move back to there.
So as you move through, I will trick you up to reduce your movement by 2 for this turn.
I don't think it'll make much difference. So
Is that the per action or for every?
it's just for that action, I believe.
Okay.
Says for this turn.
Of this turn. Oh, blimey. Oh, shocking.
Now
So
moving 3.
yep.
So that will be the second action.
Yeah. That gets you 1 infamy, and you discard the disorder card.
Yep.
So
And they discard face down to the bottom of the
so
deck.
what happens then? Because does that reduce after I move 3? Because at that point it's 3. I have to move. Is it from then onwards or? Is it?
From there onwards, let's say, yeah.
Okay.
Back into the one.
So 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
So I have that. Well, actually, look at that way. That doesn't card from that door.
Yeah, sure. Well, you can pick the lock, which is an action in itself.
I
And
can't.
gives you 2
If I
infamy.
get there. Or can I pick it
You
from
can do
there?
it from there, yeah.
I'll try
Still
to
your
pick it
front
from
mark,
there.
so-
Can I have a?
That goes away. You draw a loot card.
Well,
Pop it on. So a free action to equip. Mail shirt.
yeah.
That'll be convenient.
Yes.
Uh,
I'll back.
And sculpt test is your 3 dice at the bottom there, so roll 3 white dice. The number on the card is difficulty. So 4. 4, you done it. So remove the lock token. You don't have to open the door if you don't want to, you can just unlock it.
I'll just look for now. I think.
Lovely. And then you gain 2 infamy. And the first disorder card has been played.
Okay.
You took it in your stride, it was good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 1 to open the door.
It's a free action to open the door.
Free action. And then
So reveal the token inside, flip it over. 1 token from the bag. Mm.
That doesn't seem
Wait, do you
that
want to-
dangerous.
and then another move.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm. And you can continue your move.
4, 5, 6.
Yep.
1, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. Cool. Keep phase. Hide in the back. It's a good strategy. Steal the stuff, hide.
So, how do I end up getting these on the board?
So, you make a move action with them in the defend step, and then the first point of movement brings one to the board. But first of all, strategy step, any card you want to play then. And they don't count as on the board until they're actually moved on.
Okay, I'm pretty much going to discard all of these. Because there's not a lot I can do with not having any defense.
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
board, So I'll be discarding that. Strategy steps put defender 1 or 2 in the inspiration bag.
Yep.
And I think I'm going to put 2 in there.
Mm-hmm.
Discard this card during strategy steps, put 2 defender 1 tokens in the inspiration bag.
It's a good time to do it now because the once they've already explored the room, they don't go back to the bag really. So yeah, you want to get those cards in early.
Just gonna have that one for
Yeah, the door's
1, 2,
been
1,
out.
3. I'm going to put a 3 in because I don't think I've got any more of them.
That's the gamble actually, because as the villain, it's like you open the door early to prevent that happening, but risk ending your action having opened the door to a room full of defenders.
Discard the card during strategy steps, put 1, 2, or 3 with 2 in there as well. That's pretty much all of them.
Wow. So then it's on to your defend step. So you get 4 activations by default, and then you can get additional ones by spending arm tokens.
Excellent. Right, so I've got some juvenile dragons to bring on. So we'll start off with this one. 2, 3, and 4.
Yep.
Is that right? And then I'm gonna make a shoot action.
So it's a white and an orange. And if you get a critical, so criticals are on the dice, there are certain faces that are a different colour.
Yep.
the actual production will have some kind of version, so I don't think that's involve colour. But basically, if you score that, that's a critical.
Yeah.
Criticals don't do anything by themselves, but some rules will trigger into it. So, for example, your one is if you roll a critical, they go on fire.
Okay.
Because you're breathing fire out.
No.
Being on fire, top tip, for life and in the game, being on fire is bad.
Yes.
Hopefully everyone knew that already, but
The more you know.
yeah. And knowing is half the battle.
Okay, so they all flat, spend an action to move 2 squares compared to occupying squares. Is that basically fine, but to use them in another action?
So, because you only get 2 actions with them,
Yeah.
what it basically means is if you're not in range to attack, you can move 6 rather than 4.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm in range to attack. Okay.
It's one tendency to use them on all the bigger maps, just to bring them up.
So short range, does that? That's
No,
yeah,
just
well
straight,
within
yeah,
range.
straight roll. 2,
Two.
what's your defence?
2.
Then you're okay.
So popped out there.
And you can make a step if you want to, so you can move into an adjacent square. One thing to bear in mind though is you can't, there's a rule called friendly fire, which means you cannot target a villain if there's a defender adjacent to them. Glade Stalkers ignore that rule because they're just that good, but it means your Dracons can't breathe any more fire if you move adjacent. Because they're trained not to set arms on fire.
I'm not reading where he is actually.
Cool.
So apply to villains as well.
Sorry?
Apply to villains as well.
Villains do have a friendly fire rule as well, yeah, because they're under orders not to do it. Some disorder cards might allow you to break that rule. What might be an idea, if you wanted to clear the way to make some more shots, then you can step backwards around the corner so you're out of
Yeah.
way of retaliation. It also clears the lines of fire. So that's 1 activation gone, you've got 3 left. What are you going to be?
I'm going to get my blade soak back in, so
Yep.
can be 5 with this one, 2, 3.
I think the demon thing's looking quite squishy, so if you move it around the side of it, you'll be able to shoot quite effectively.
Wow.
Trip me up.
Ooh.
Not vengeful at all.
Just a little softened up what head anyway. I mean also, he's got twice defence on him, it's going to be hard to kill him.
Yeah, I'll go with that one. I'm going to take a shot.
Don't get to play a card for that.
Who's
But the Abyssal is in cover because there's a dwarf in the way, so that'll be a downgrade of one of your dice.
So, I guess I'm just going to have to target the dwarf and I'll
Go for it. So orange and 2 whites, I
orange
think.
and 2 whites, yeah.
Defense 2.
Seriously, are his elves the same as us?
The elf, that elf should be facing the other way around, yes. Spin your elf around.
Oh,
He's currently doing a very fancy trick shot.
Not that that would help us.
No, not at all. No.
Thank you. That's 4.
So 2 damage.
I'm not surprised you don't have miniatures more of them, because obviously this is a miniature games company, so maybe spare elves and stuff like that.
Yes, probably there are, but I'm from League of Games, which is a different company that isn't a miniatures company. We've made the game for Mantic, and we just had this stuff here. Yeah, absolutely, we could absolutely have gone and got some stuff, but I got in at 20 plus 10 this morning with the first game starting at 10:30.
The other question for you, is there an infamy, they've all got an infamy card?
We resisted that one. Usually someone makes the joke anyway, so we did feel it was necessary. So there we go, you fulfilled that tally. Thank you very much.
Okay, next one's going to be Toe Spear, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
And you can attack from there.
They have got the lovely painted miniatures, but they're really nice. I don't trust myself to not break them, and especially I think they're all 3D prints. They're ultra fragile.
This is white. Thank you.
When you took that damage away, if you wanted to, you could spend 1 infamy to take 1 less damage. It's up to you whether it's worth it. It sort of represents you avoiding harm at the cost of your reputation slightly. So doing something that maybe doesn't reflect too well on you.
Sorry, that was an attack on that one.
Yeah, so I take 1 damage then.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the damage taken?
Damage taken, isn't it? Sorry.
That's 1, 2, 3. Got 1 left. Now after that, you can start spending alarm tokens to activate additional defenders. The first one you activate costs 1 alarm token. The second one costs 2. Third one costs 3, and so on and so forth.
Okay, so this will be the 4th one.
Yep.
So move 5. And he knows the friendly fire rule. That's nice.
Yeah.
So that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
Now I'm going to take another attack. So, orange and white.
How's that really your friendly fire or just breathing fire?
Oh, sorry, that one doesn't ignore friendly fire. That's the Draco, isn't it? It's the Glade Stalker that ignore friendly fire.
Sorry, yeah, I was looking at the wrong one.
Do you believe that's in the rear arc, though, if that makes any difference?
That. Oh no, because I think she's facing out towards the room, isn't she?
It's facing the wall.
Facing that way. Is it?
Oh!
Is it unlocked?
That is indeed in the rear arc then, yes.
Okay.
So you're upgrading one of your dice. That's 2 oranges.
Just picking the door. Fine.
Picking the door, yeah. Can I turn afterwards?
You
Should have.
possibly, yeah. Who can
Oh,
say?
You're just feeling a little bit warm.
Hopefully that's this one. 4, so that's 2 damage.
2 more.
It's not fine.
Alright, it's going to take.
That male shirt's working overtime.
It is, isn't it? Not
Okay.
anyway as mangled as you are.
Well, I'm going to spend one of my alarm tokens.
Yep.
Just get another one of these on there. And he can move 5 as well. 4, sorry. It's 1, 2, 3. And 4 there.
1, 2. It's 1 to move on as well, don't forget. So 1, 2. You can't quite get that far.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I move to there.
That would be
1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, yeah.
The rest dwarf though.
Yep. I'm going to attack the dwarf.
A white and orange.
Yeah,
So
that's fine.
he doesn't care. He hasn't noticed it's on fire. He's just,
Yes, the sneaky goblin's still undamaged.
But as soon as the goblin gets hit, the goblin tends to fall over pretty quickly. So that's the correct way to do
It's
it.
goblin. What are you expecting?
Exactly.
The same armour as me.
Sneakiness.
Yeah. Well, yeah. To be fair, you're also quite squishy, but you're now wearing a male shirt, so. Right. Okay. Is that the end of your defense steps? Now it's reinforced, so you can spend your alarm tokens to bring some defenders on.
Okay, so tall spear over here. Where am I? That's all 5.
Right, end phase. So, Keep Master draws 5 cards. If you've got a disorder card you don't want, you can put it at the bottom of the deck. Everyone then draws up to 1. Now, of course, doing that is going to mill through the deck quicker and bring the escalation cards in, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. So, any disorder cards to draw? All good?
Yeah.
Now, part of the Keep Master role, generally we found, is reminding players of any other things the other players have done to slight them that might require vengeance at a later point. It's just worth keeping note of it, you know, because it's a non-mechanical way of just getting back at the players a little bit.
You mean like tripping somebody?
Yeah, exactly. That sort of thing. Yeah, yeah. It's, sort of thing that it's best not to let it lie. Right.
Just a little trip.
Of course, yeah. New round. Keep Master gets 5 alarm tokens, and the initiative tokens get shuffled. How's Infamy looking? We've got a stack of Infamy over there. My goodness. Anyone wanting to switch places?
I'm good going last.
Yeah. Sneaky goblin.
So I'll start if I may.
Yeah.
I'll make a shoot action.
Yeah, you will.
This guy,
Mm-hmm.
which is 2 white and 1 orange. I'll take him. Ooh, is 4.
That's 3 damage.
And I'll make a free step and open.
Nice. So that's open the door. Let's see what's in there. So we know there's at least 1 Dracon egg. We flip the card, and it will tell us. We've got 2 elven lynxes and 2 small obstacles. So these are obstacles. They're basically just bits of scenery. So you can place those, and you place elven lynxes as well as the Dracon egg, wherever you like in that room. Elven lynxes aren't particularly dangerous. You don't get any infamy for killing them because they're cats. I mean, you know, try bragging about that later on down the pub and see how well it goes. They don't drop loot either, but if you ignore them, they can spend actions to give the Keep Master alarm tokens because they just make a loud noise.
They also don't have thumbs.
They don't have thumbs. They can't open doors.
So can I cut an obstacle?
So the rules are you cannot place it in the space directly behind the door,
Okay.
or imagine like the little T-shaped Tetris piece like that. You cannot fill those 4 things with stuff unless there's no option to do so. So you can put an obstacle there and there, for example. Up to you entirely.
So what I'll probably do is an egg there. Obstacle.
Yeah.
Obstacle.
You do that.
So the way obstacles work is you can smash them and get rid of them by attacking them. You can also move onto them. It just costs you, I believe, 1 extra point of movement to do so, unless you're a sneaky goblin, in which case your special rule says you don't worry about that.
So that's 1 shoot. I'll have a second shoot at that same guy. Did we? Which is fine.
Gilding. I do get alarm tokens because you did make some money.
Sorry,
I get alarm tokens because you used his guns.
you do indeed. Yeah. 1 alarm token because he's used his guns at all.
It's not each time, is it? It's just
No, it's just the end of your turn. End of your turn, you give an alarm
Okay.
token.
So he's
dead.
gone, and I roll on the loot.
Yes, indeed. Need to get a 3+. My goodness. Loot aplenty.
And I can move a square.
Yep.
Then I'll make a shot at this guy.
Yep.
Which is a 6.
In my mind, as soon as Castle steps through the portal, he starts pulling the triggers, and he doesn't stop until he goes to bed that night. That's kind of his thing.
Okay, so he is dead. I think he got to roll 4+ on this one.
You got a 6, so yeah, that's that. Oh, sorry, 4+ for the loot. Yes, indeed.
Oh, no. And there's a free square. And then
That's
as
your
my
3rd action, so you got a bonus action.
bonus action, we shall try and shoot someone. What's he doing?
Can you see? Let's have a look. I mean, you would just about be able to see this corner of the square, so you can do it, but it'll be a downgrade.
So I'll just change to a white.
Yeah. Nothing. But you only get to step to that.
Should trade up some treasure back.
Okay.
Nice. Is that you done?
Sorry, that's fine.
Lovely.
Actions. You.
Tony, what are you doing?
Okay, I will.
Other than bleeding.
I will move 1, 2, 4. Let's move.
Yep. So that costs 2 movement points to move on to an obstacle if you'd like to.
Kill. Move. Yeah, I'll do that. Sorry. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's
Yep.
all my movement.
Stab the cat. Stab the cat.
Stab the cat.
That's not very nice.
So when you're attacking, you can use your pistol and your sword. That's one of the things your pistol's good for. So the pistol drops the cat's defense by 1. Not that it has any defense anyway. And your sword upgrades one of your dice. So you'll be rolling 2 whites and an orange.
Yay.
Was it this one?
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I think your saber card's upside down, possibly. There you go.
Yeah, that makes more sense. And then I can't take a step afterwards, can I?
So you can. Yeah.
Pick up the egg.
Lovely egg, yes indeed.
Take that. One more action.
Shoot the cat. Shoot the cat. It's the only thing in the room with you.
Shoot the cat.
I'll shoot the cat.
I like to think the game communicates to you that you're not playing good guys in a number of ways. One of which is that it compels players to shout things like, shoot the cat. So you're getting a downgrade of the dice because there's no spot obstacle in the way.
No box kids out make noise.
So-
Alarm activating. You have to set them fire.
Well, that'll do though, that's a dead cat.
Just go.
Roll the alarm die, or the loot die.
They drop loot?
I rolled the other one actually.
No.
They don't drop loot, but you might get an alarm.
Oh,
First one. No.
Second one. Yes.
Yay, eyes.
So yeah, keep on
That's
an alarm
not
token.
useless. I mean, it's just terrible, isn't it? It's just.
I love that of the stealthy assault team, 2 of you are carrying firearms. This is brilliant. Although you're firing magic bullets, don't make noise.
Okay, so can I open the door for free to start with?
You certainly can.
Yeah, let's open the door and see what happens. What's the worst that can happen?
Wasn't that at the end of your
So 3 actions you can do before or after.
Or either.
Yeah.
Just
So, This is much over this, I
Sorry.
guess. It's fair on this. I'll make it be light.
Room also contains 2 juvenile dragons which can each make one action as soon as the room has been settled.
Cool. So,
Nice.
and then 1 draw from the bag.
Okay, so I assume that it's the same rules as putting the obstacles in.
Correct.
The T in
Yep.
there, and then we just.
So 2 of them, 1 thing from the bag, and the egg that's in there as well.
I only have 1.
If you've only got 1, you only place 1.
Okay. So, what's put in there?
What a shame.
See what's in there. Another cat.
Pull out a cat. And put a cat in
Here
there
you
as
like.
well. Yeah.
And where's that egg? Is that in the back corner, I'm guessing?
Yeah, it's going right over here. With a cat.
Correct.
And I can perform an action immediately with the Dracon.
You certainly can.
He's going to shoot.
Yep.
He's going
One
for
of them
him.
obscured at least.
Yeah, 1 action. So
So,
that should be 2 white dice. Set on fire.
I think it's set on fire. It's not nice at all.
I kind of want to set you on fire.
I don't want to be set on fire.
We want to see what happens.
There you go.
It's the worst reason to get set on fire.
That doesn't sound good, does it?
You've not gone on fire, you're alright.
You're
Survive.
You're fine.
I'm enjoying the male shirt too. Let's pick the male shirt. I'll put that on.
Yeah. Okay, that was a free action.
So I can now go. Oh dear. I can't get into that room. I can't see people around. Go somewhere else. Go to the other
Why
room.
don't you clear some of the good guys instead
So,
of?
yeah, Lethiel's got some interesting, like, pretty powerful abilities, but they're all 1 use per turn. So, it doesn't have, like, the room clearance that, say, Castle's got.
I can't shoot lots of people. How many
No,
rooms
but
do
you could at least thin the
no.
dragon herd.
Although once you start getting other things like, so in the first game we had, she managed to find a repeating crossbow amongst the loot cards, at which point, I mean, she's got a great shoot there anyway, she becomes a bit of a deadly...
Okay, so I can.
Warrior.
No, I can't get there anyway, can I? Oh, let's get to there. Which of these is squishier?
Definitely the Dracon.
Yeah.
I can't see him, but can I? Can I? So I have to move after an action, don't I?
So you step before or after your choice.
Okay. So I think if I step to
Yep.
there, can I have the doors open? So if I step to there, I will drain the Dracon, I guess. with
Yeah, sure.
my spell.
So you roll an orange dice, I think.
2.
2, so 2 damage goes off the Dracon.
Well, I heal 2 damage. I can heal someone else, but you know,
They're all too far away.
too far away. So
3.
it's the kind of thing. I don't really, honestly, I've healed you, Tony. It's really would. Okay, so that's 1 action.
I won't trust him.
Shall I open the next door? Why not open the door, see what happens? What's the worst that can happen?
Go for it.
So I open the door.
Flip the storeroom token, see what you got. 2 tokens.
Could this be bad? My third action maybe run around the corner and hide.
That's my plan.
If you're all running around the corner and hiding,
Token number 1. Loot.
Oh,
Okay,
so
good stuff.
Start. But you can. Token number 2 is another cat.
okay.
cats everywhere.
Okay, so for this one, is it going to be just the elf?
Yeah, exactly.
Do we have to make it back off within an
So once you've got at least 1 Dracon egg, you may leave via the way you came in. Once you do that, the portal is then open and other villains can escape. The tricky part is, this is where someone fell down last game, he left too early, hadn't scored enough points and everyone else overtook him.
Yep.
And then all died. But that was by the by.
What's the rules for trading equipment between players?
So, a free action is trade, and when you trade, it has to be another villain in your front arc. They can be facing the way, doesn't really matter, and you can give and or receive any number of loot cards. You can't trade away your starting equipment though.
Can I shoot the cat then with a fireball?
Isn't it great to play a game where that's a question you can legitimately ask?
Well,
Um,
There's the doors there. Can I see through there to see?
So let's have a look. So when you're there, best thing is to grab the range ruler, and if you can draw a line from the centre of your square to any part of that's the cat square,
Well,
without going through a
I
wall.
can get the corner, you see. So like, I can do that, you see. But depends how tense that is.
No, you've got the one.
No.
Nah, that's going to be... You can step around the corner, that was part of the shoot action.
Could do that, couldn't I? So yeah. So we step.
Back to Cool.
So we do that, can I?
Cooperatish.
Yeah. I'll fireball the cat. This is action 2. Okay.
Yep.
So I get 2 upgrades on that. So
You do indeed.
So I get 2 orange and a white.
Just hideous overkill.
The cat's on fire.
The cat's just blown up.
Oh, the cat had 4 health, so it's sure.
Okay.
And then you've got 1 action left.
Right, we'll do 1, 2.
Lovely.
I'll take that one in theirs.
And grab a loot card. So keep it on face down until you want to use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can turn it back
Finally.
again as well.
You can indeed, yeah.
There we
Go on, Glum. One action. There's a lot of elves and things around that corner. It's not looking very, very nice.
I don't think it's very nice either. No, so that's why we treat it slightly.
I'm right in thinking the Dracons can't open the door either. They can't, can they? No.
No, they can't.
So if you close that door, the Dracon and the cat are stuck in that room.
I was about to say, because you know, close the door.
You close the door
They can,
behind you?
they can like knock the door down and smash the door
But
down.
you could come in here and shut the door.
You could.
I could, but then I don't want to.
Okay. That's fine.
2, 3,
Yep.
because I can move out.
Yep.
You
4.
can't do that.
He can.
I
You
can.
Okay.
Then can I shut the door?
You can as a free action, yes indeed.
The elves can open the door though, can't they? So.
Elves can open doors.
Yeah, I'm just running up there.
Yeah, there's no wait. So 4, 5, 6.
Yep. So that's his second action.
Gotta give a cat.
Now, the cat gives more alarm tokens.
Yep.
Well,
It does
cat.
cost an action to do so. So when there are this many defenders on the board, it's unlikely that it'll want to do that.
But you can kill a cat.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Yep.
5.
Position yourself behind the cat. Well, if the cat leaves your front arc, you've got to hit it. And if the cat doesn't move, then it's protecting you. You're hiding behind a cat.
Yeah.
How proud are you right now?
That's a bit wrong.
I can't believe it. I'm quite proud. Literally holding a cat up, going, "I will kill the cat." Okay, that's the end of the day. Kingmaster, it is your strategy step. What would you like to do?
What do I want to do?
Oh, I love this game. Who's winning for Infamy currently?
I've got none.
By a lot as well.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah, you kill Axton though.
I haven't got any dragon eggs though.
I'd be more than willing to trade that armour for a couple of ones.
Yeah, I'm liking the armour.
That would tank you right up. That's ridiculous.
Alright,
The armour's pretty good.
Okay, remove a defender from the board, then set it up in any explode square on the board which is facing.
I'm
Random.
suggesting next that the Stabby Goblin would be a good idea.
Just so you know, his suggestion's exactly what I'm going to do. Exclusively because he suggested it.
Sure, that's
Just,
not the case
you
at
know.
all.
I wouldn't have even thought
Now,
about
is there a
doing
way I can pick up the cat and turn it?
Sadly, no. Throw the cat. Ah!
These are goblins, it's probably the same size as the cat,
Yeah.
isn't it? So it's like,
So I have some
nice,
that,
box kittens.
I have some cards that are more relevant to.
For later, so you want to hold on to those for the reinforced step then?
Yeah, sounds bad. Probably sounds bad, doesn't it? That's the thing.
It's fine.
It's alright, I've got plenty of mana.
For now.
It's not helping much though, is it?
Okay, so I'm going to reveal the top 2 cards of the Disorder deck. And if an escalation card is going to play.
So you see, this is why that was a card that played earlier as well. Milling through the disorder deck brings those escalations into play sooner. So flip the top 2 cards over, and if they're escalations, they come into play. No, and
Escalation
yes.
steaming.
So that one goes straight to the Keepmaster, who then reads it out.
The text of it on that.
Oh, sorry, yeah, it is.
When this card is revealed, place it face up in the Keepmaster's play area. The villain who drew it draws another card to replace it. From the next end phase, each villain's disorder hand size is increased by 1.
So 2 disorder cards each from the end phase. The next end phase. The next end phase. This one. Oh dear. It's like the game's crying out to you and saying, betray each other, backstab more.
So I'm going to discard this one.
Yep.
So then I can put every
cat.
cat in the bag.
That joke normally comes up at some point as well.
So you've let the cat.
There we go. Yep. Good. Good. Just got to tick that one off us.
If I collect enough of them, can I build a cat shield?
They're all sticking their claws into you. It's not a great place to be.
I'm
Furball.
going to discard that one to get rid of the line.
Cool.
People don't want the reinforcements. I mean, they've been used. So.
Right then, so defend step. You have 4 activations. I reckon at least one of them is you stabbing a goblin.
I'm
not really here.
I'm going to stab a goblin.
Good thinking.
Oh, yeah, I've got cats as well, haven't I? Oh, yeah, cat.
But you have an elf locked in a room.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do all of that. So, I mean, 3
Thank
whites.
you for advising Tim.
Yes, that's good. Well, we can fight through friendly models and not enemies. So I could have put him in a face in there. He wouldn't be able to attack him.
Very good point.
Think of that, you know.
Stab past the cat.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a decent roll. That's 4 damage, I believe.
It's but a scratch.
Oh!
Your arm's hanging off there, isn't it?
Excuse me, you have one of my lungs.
What if I don't want to do anything else? I'm going to just leave him sit
You
there.
just leave him there.
I'm going to leave him there because when you move, I'm going to attack anyway.
Yeah.
You can turn the cat around there, couldn't you? So the cat can attack as well.
The cat can attack, but it's
When he just
not
escapes,
all
you
that.
can't. If he moves, he can run away, you see, that's the problem.
But still, yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm not saying it, but you know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool, carry on.
You can block the way through, so you have 3 things in the ring.
No, cool. But I'm going to get some others on the board. So I'll bring on a tall spear. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So
Yep.
these now at the door.
Put several dragons in the ring as well.
Stabbing you in the back here.
I'm not stabbing the back, I'm just suggesting.
He's literally stabbing you in the face.
There's no card passing or secrecy about this, is it?
Yeah.
No, it's alright.
So-
It's alright.
I'm
So,
going to take the dragon.
I have a cunning plan.
At one point in development, the disorder cards were they were part of the keep deck, and the keep master passed them to players who they thought it was hilarious to do so. And some of them just said, "You've received a disorder card. It doesn't do anything. Other players won't believe you for a second." And it was all things like it was basically that. We ended up doing this because it gets more cards into the game and it's more fun. But there was because you want to get that sort of feeling of like playing like D&D and stuff when the DM passes a note, and it's that moment. What do they know that we don't? That sort of thing. And
This note
yeah.
says nothing.
So I'm going to take the Dracon in, and he's moving 4, 1, 2. I don't need to use them all, do I? And then he's going to do a shoot action. So that's a range of line.
Go on, set on fire.
And that's a dwarf.
Yep.
I'm not really doing that much damage to you guys, am I?
It's not healing, so.
So that's
3,
3.
1 damage.
And I can make a step as well, can't I?
Yep.
So
Well, you can step and fight. Oh, so you moved and you shot, didn't you? So that's 2 actions.
yeah.
Yep.
So I'm stepping around there, so I'm
Yeah.
going to 1
So is that 3 actions so far? 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
1 left. And then you start with them. I'll do some more.
Can just burn the demon thing.
Right, so it's going to
It's
be
so helpful.
Dracon.
Dark Elf Sorceress, I'm supposed to back
1, 2,
Oh,
3, 4, 4.
you can still shoot from there, though, can't you? You just get a downgrade, but it's not.
No, it's
He
can't
can't
be
shoot
cat
because he's adjacent to other defenders.
because I'm
Okay.
holding a
Trained.
kitten in front of me.
So,
You can then step and bite him.
I suppose you could stand by, that might work.
More to the point, if you do that, you're stopping him from moving at all because he can't move through blocked diagonals, even though he ignores 3 strikes.
That's true.
So-
Can't be doing it.
I mean, even where you are now, he's pretty hemmed in.
But step and bite sounds good.
Well, I've got an action here, flat to spend an action to move 2 squares.
Yes, you can do that if you want to. It means you won't get to make an attack, but
You can move one, make an attack.
Yeah, I think that's probably the only option I've really got, isn't it?
yeah. Chop. 2 white dice.
2 white house. Done it again. Just in case you're wondering. 2. So 3. That's all 4 of them.
See, the problem is.
So now, if you want to spend alarm tokens, you can do some more. The problem is you're stuck in a corner holding a cat, being jabbed with a spear, while a dragon chewing your legs. I've had worse.
Spend the first token. I'm going to bring this chap on. That's 1, 2,
The cat.
3,
Punch
4.
the cat down the road.
One of the funniest characters is this one. So he's got basically an ability where you can kill people and chop
Equal
corpses
to
with their legs,
attack the wall.
which is
That's
really
nice.
cute.
Strike through my own stuff.
So yeah,
Yeah,
holding
two
last
squares
he
away.
was just killing baby dragons and throwing them at other baby dragons. It was a horrible situation.
There we go, that's a 5 there.
3 damage for me.
It's good.
You got this.
I can't make anything work for me.
Well, the group's really kind of spread out, aren't you?
Because we know each other, we're already happy to backstab us now.
Yeah.
Hold on, there's actually only really one of us that's been full on backstabbing.
Oh well. I don't know, who tripped me first?
And yet you've never
And then who
forgiven
stole
all
the
of
loot?
us.
There's no enemies on the board. It's
No
just
excuse.
good time to use it.
Okay. That is that done.
You done?
Yep.
Reinforcements.
Okay,
Massive
so
power.
I'll spend 2 on that.
Right.
Yep.
I'm going to get a blade stalker in as well.
Still like a phalanx of elves moving around the corner there.
So that's that. I've got 1 more to spend, but I can't spend it.
So you
So,
keep it. Yeah.
And then on this one, because I'm on the reinforcement step, I'm going to play this card immediately after adding a defender. And I can immediately activate that defender as though it were a keep phase. So
So who's coming in?
it's this one.
Yeah.
Oh, which one?
It's going to struggle to do.
It is because of where I put
Stuff.
everything else. But it does ignore the friendly fire rule.
Can you shoot the other people?
It's a great question, isn't it? Just have a little look.
Because none of their attacks do any damage from the fire. So.
Shot will be blocked, unfortunately. But you can still bring him in, so he's ready to do some stuff next turn.
1, 2.
Yeah.
So, who
Done.
says ignore the friendly fire rule?
So what that means, that's the rule which says you can't target a villain if they're adjacent to another defender.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
So-
dragons can't, but your blade stalkers can. Is that the end of it?
Yeah.
Right then, so you're drawing a hand back up to a hand of 5 keep cards, and the villains are drawing up to a hand of 2 disorder cards.
I'm going to ditch mine because it's not very good.
Okie dokie.
Do you draw first, I believe?
Yeah, it technically is in your initiative order, so there
Is
you
it 2 at once or 1 at once and then?
go. It's you draw both of yours at the same time.
I see, she got. That's fine, 3.
Nope. Escalation.
When this card is revealed, place it face up in the Keep Master's player area. The villain who drew it draws another card and replaces it. From now on, villain gains 1 additional infamy for each disorder card they play.
So whenever you play a disorder card, you get extra infamy.
I can see this spiraling out of control.
The spiral is very noticeable. Yep.
Is that when anybody plays a
Anyone
disorder
plays it, they get 1 extra infamy. Basically, infamy cards are worth 1 more. Sorry, disorder cards are worth 1 more infamy.
Okay, so we just give these back next time.
Yep. Give those back, and 5 more alarm tokens come in.
Great.
So, with regards to flipping up weapons,
Yes.
you can only do that.
So it's a
second-
free action.
Yeah.
You can do it anytime you like, but not when you're in someone's front arc.
Okay.
Right. Anyone want to swap their numbers?
If you wouldn't mind bringing out here at least clearing 1 of those, that'd be much appreciated.
yet about how being subdued works? So when your damage equals your health, you fall over. All you can do is make recovery actions. You cannot make a recovery action if you're in a defender's front arc. So as the keep master, what you want to do is you'll knock them down and then basically stand over them. If you do that to all 4 of them, that's a total party kill.
Could take a while.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I will attack the Dracon. Uh, 6.
Just about killed it.
Me.
Also, they can put one back on the wall later.
So that's 1, 2, and 3. Treasure. 4.
Hey, nice.
You can't. Well, I guess it's not because you can move it up. Wait.
Could you? You can move within someone's.
You can indeed, yeah. Yeah, it's when you leave the front arc that you suffer a hit.
Oh no. That's for a free square. Free square. It moves to that.
Yeah. See what the dragon was carrying?
Some nice pearls or something.
Goes to you.
Don't ask where it was.
One of the cards, which I think we took it out here, but I loved it. It had no benefit at all, but it had a really high fence value. It was a dragon idol, and you had to keep it face up. And like defenders get a +1 to hit you because you're just carrying this massive idol. And it was just a silly slapstick moment. In the end, we took it out because it was a little bit too silly, but I loved it. So I did a goblin carrying this massive statue.
He's gone.
Yeah, I cannot gain fire tokens.
It's fireproof. That's a good thing. Less useful for you.
It's no dragon token. And then I will, for my 3rd action, attack the Blade Stalker.
You're going to get a downgrade on this because you're in the front arc of multiple enemies.
Yeah, Blade Stalker.
4, 3
3
damage.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm still not very helpful.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, it's the end of my turn.
Over there. Play this card at the end of another villain's turn. That villain must be within short range of you. You can play it even more subdued. Your keep master turns the villain to face a direction of their choice, and then takes an alarm token. I get 1.
2.
For 2 you get.
2.
2 infamy. That's not.
Stab everyone back. Well, actually, I'm going to stab him back. So,
I beg your pardon?
here you go, turn you around.
That's just mean.
It is. Also, I have one here that's a villain face card. I can play it at the start of a villain's turn to activate Defender.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm playing that now. I'm going to activate my tall spear.
Straight to both of you.
And I'm gonna go for yeah.
Moindaji.
That's the one. I couldn't even pronounce that at all.
Also goes by Steve.
Given that I'm in
Thing
each
wins.
rear arc, do I get an upgrade as well?
You do indeed, yes.
So that's an orange and 2 whites.
This can't be set on fire this time.
I will use my saber.
Wait till after he's rolled because
Okay.
you can shoot
I
after.
might roll something awful, which
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me.
No.
Nope.
I might recommend that
No,
3 for a
that's
reroll
it.
personally.
Yeah, could you roll 3 please?
The blue 3. 2. That's a bit slightly. So what I'm just saying when you flip it then is less good or something.
It just that you can do that. So you get that to do the parry, you flip it back at the start of your next turn. Basically once per round you
You
can do
could
that.
burn some for me to reduce the damage.
4 damage.
Out of interest, could
Anything
I
else
burn
to
some
do
for me?
You could give them infamy.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's
You
only
might keep
maximum,
them
you
alive,
only
because
burn
if you-
1 infamy per thing.
Okay. That's not bad anyway. Yeah, I'll take the damage.
That's 4 damage.
That's rather brave. Because you're getting shot by that as well then.
Oh, look, that's loads of damage then.
Oh, wow.
Quite interesting.
Sorry?
Quite healthy stuff.
That's because you keep selling everybody else out.
I'm going to go back and say what I said earlier because
There is an elf
I've
in
just
a
checked the
room
rule.
with no way of getting out.
The friendly fire rule. Villains are not bound by the friendly fire rule. Villains can shoot defenders that are adjacent to villains, but there's a chance it will hit the wrong person.
I like those odds.
It's basically it's a 1 in 6 that it goes wrong.
Okay.
You know what he's going to do? He's going to.
I'm going to move to there
Yep.
and shoot my tall spear.
Before you roll it, Keepmaster, roll a white die. If you get a critical, you can pick a target that's adjacent to the target.
Okay. That'd be interesting.
Would be dead.
Oh,
Okay.
it was so close. We
And
can't
is
have
that-
that one token.
Is that a block shot?
It will be a block shot. Yeah. So you don't really want.
That'll be
So one damage.
Do damage.
okay, so that's my
Oh, one
first.
damage, you're right.
That's my first action. I'll play shove. Move standing villain in your front arc into an adjacent square without changing their facing. If they have any actions remaining, they discard one. No problem. So again, just the one for me. Two because of that.
Is that an altruistic shove? Are you shoving nicely?
It might be a nice shove.
It has. Do you get alarm takers as well for that? Then?
No, most of them just give that for me.
Then I'll make my second action to take a shot at him.
Would I not suggest you shove Tone there so that he is actually completely. He can't be attacked in the rear?
There's nothing going to be around. No, because then I could friendly fire him.
He looks a bit.
Throw him against the wall and shoot him.
So my second action, I should blast away at the tall spear.
Yep.
Who is 6.
Probably dead now.
Yeah, he's dead.
3 square up to here.
Roll
See
the
what happens.
loot die.
Yeah,
3
3
plus.
3 or more.
Alarm taker for you.
That's 2 alarm takers, isn't
Might
it?
be here for some reason.
It's only one alarm
not
taker.
until the end of my
But
round.
you do get 2 infamy for the kill though.
2.
I'll point out there are some 5 and 10 infamy coins there if you'd like to check it out.
Do you, if you die, you lose all your infamy. Is it so?
So if you are subdued at the end of the game, you roll 2
Yeah.
orange dice and lose that much infamy.
Third action, I'll shoot blade sword.
That's not really help us.
It's a
4.
4.
3 damage.
There's a
Oh,
bonus.
that glow's up good dead.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, 3 damage.
Move an action square up.
Loot die.
Then one. Oh, yeah, sorry.
So who killed that though?
I did.
Whoever got the killing blow.
That's another loot token.
And I can't do my extra shot.
That's happened every round, hasn't it? You go
dead.
bang, bang, bang. Oh!
And I
Grab
will
an arm.
play over there.
Exactly the same card being played back.
Yeah, but at a time that's not really going to kill me.
Yeah. So Keepmaster can choose the cards horse facing.
Yeah, so you can change the facing of him wherever you like.
Oh dear. 2 infamy. It's not going well, is it?
Right.
That's what I go. So first thing I'd like to do is
Yeah.
remove the cat with
Just
a
stab the
swift
cat.
boot.
I think
Well,
it's a sensible thing to do.
Look out! Play this card during another villain's turn where they make a 5-sheet action and defend from behind. The defender must be in short range line of sight.
Yeah.
Ah!
Short range, but not line of sight.
Right, so I gain an upgrade.
You do indeed, yeah. But then you gain 2 downgrades because there's 2 other people stomping you in the face at the same time.
All we need to do
But at
is
least,
4.
yeah, you just need to do 4. You'll be fine.
My rolling has not been that good so far.
It's in line.
1, 2, 3. Chucking infamy in. You haven't got any
I haven't
infamy.
got any infamy. I've
Someone
got
want
dragon
to
egg.
donate you some infamy?
Do you want to donate me some infamy? Steve, who has all of the infamy?
You've got 2 eggs, haven't
You
you?
can afford it, so.
Yeah.
We do kind of need it to win.
Yeah. You've got 2 eggs.
Yeah.
Can you trade an egg?
It would have to be a trade-free action to do that. You have to be adjacent for that to happen.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But the
okay.
promise of an egg later, surely, is just as good.
Yes.
I will give you an.
I will pay you Tuesday for them today.
You can't give a straight face.
1 infamy for an egg later.
Yep.
Out of interest. Just out of interest, should the Keepmaster hit him, can I use infamy to reduce his armor or increase his damage?
No.
There you go. So I'm going to spend
Okay.
that
Yeah,
to
You
kill the
spend
cat.
that to kill the cat.
So I punt the cat out of the way. And then I go
Roll the loot die first.
There is absolutely nothing
No,
forcing you to
can't
give
do
the
anything.
You still roll it in case an alarm token comes out.
of course.
I don't get alarm tokens.
But you get infamy instead. You killed the cat so quietly, you get an infamy for it.
Nobody noticed me stab the cat in front of the elf and the dragon. And then I get to move one.
Run! Yep, one with the fight, and then
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shut that door. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
yeah. Okay.
You're hiding out.
Okay.
No, I like to backstab Tim.
This means the dragons can't win as easily. I'll try and pick the lock.
Go for it. Skulk test, needing a 3.
Is it 3 for 3 white dice?
Yes, indeed.
Great, is it?
Yeah, you're fine.
Do I get any bonuses for that? No.
No.
Is that 1 infamy or 2 infamy now?
2 infamy.
Okay. And I will open the door for free. What's the worst that could happen?
Just feels like a bad thing to ask.
12 elves.
3 full-size dragons.
It's a
This
dragon.
room also contains 1 juvenile dragon and
One defender 1,
defender
which is
one.
defender is in the 1 slot, which is actually a second juvenile dragon.
So,
So
I've
it's
got
just
1.
one only
So
one.
you're lucky.
But then you also draw
And then I also draw 3.
3 tokens from the back.
No.
Sorry.
So
You know that.
But that can go in here, doesn't it? 3 tokens, or do they go in there?
can go in that room.
Great. Hopefully more dragons than
Might
one.
get very cramped now.
Do some fireballing.
One thing I will add is you can't open and close a
What's
door
another egg?
in the same free action slot. You can't. Oh, no.
Walk into a bunch of guards wearing
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah. We did originally have an action for spying into rooms and seeing what was in there. And so you draw the token, put it in the room, you'd know what it was, your friends wouldn't necessarily.
All the cats.
But it just complicated things a bit too much.
What's that? That's one of those tall spheres. Great.
It's around the way around, isn't it? Yeah. We'll have a cat. There. We've got an egg. Another egg.
Oh, that's nice.
Lucrative room, but painful.
Kill people. Okay.
That just looks like just a mistake waiting to happen in that room, frankly.
Okay.
Considering how many elves are around the corner as well.
It's looking bad though. I'm kind of stuck here, so it's not great.
Yeah, because you have to end a move by the door to get out.
Yeah.
To open it again, to get out again.
Yep.
There was no backstabbing nature in
No,
it.
no, it's
fine.
fine. Everything's fine. What's your move? You move 5.
5.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. You can get up next to the goblin at least.
Okay, so can I fireball the elf? I suppose I can fireball the elf. Okay, not
Can
still.
you from there? I don't think you can. You have to step.
So I can step there and fireball
Then
the
you
elf.
fireball the elf quite happily. So it's a double upgrade on the dice. So
So
2 oranges and a white. That's elf.
Is that
flambe, I
elf
believe.
kebab.
That's gone. Yep. Roll the loot die.
Two infamous left. Luke Dine, let's hope for the best.
Get 3 plus.
1.
You.
No, at least
But
there.
no alarms. That's something.
So I've got another action left. So I could. Do I have line of sight to the Draken? I do, don't I? How many lives has the Draken got?
4.
4.
And defensive 1. Not that that matters if you do that.
5 or more ticket.
We've got 3
So
others.
you've only got 1 move left, haven't you?
One action,
Yeah, one action. Now, I'm not going to put, as somebody who's been very helpful to you previously, if you actually create a wall of monsters around there, he has no way to escape. To kill enough monsters fast enough to escape. Just saying that somebody was helpful to you.
So I will try and.
Cooperatish. This is the word we have used and the word we will continue to use.
But you're cooperating with the wrong person.
Somebody was doing it to me first.
Yeah, I will. Yeah,
No
I'll
one's
try
sharing a
and
car home or anything.
Shoot the
Sorry?
Draken thing.
You're not sharing a car home or anything, are you?
Okay, no, that's it.
I'm driving this.
Good. No, I'll catch him sensibly. So, is it? Should I give him
More
something?
babies.
Orange dice.
You going far?
I'm trying to think. Try and do more damage. So, how much defense has the Draken got? 1 or 2?
4 with 1 defense, so you
1
need 5
defense. So
or more.
these do up to 2. So 6. So it's possible. But I do 3 dice for damage. I'll try and heal myself with the orange dice and drain your life. Well, how many has the cat got?
Cat's got 4.
Just drain the dragon. 3. That fixes me.
Nice.
I get to do a free move.
That's 3 damage on the.
Where can I move to? I'm trying to think where's a good place to move.
I think back into the room. Into the other room. I think HQ might be a good place to move to, frankly, but that option seems to exhaust itself.
I could do that. Or I could actually, no, hang on, I could do, can I shut the door and then move?
So the shut the door will be a free action, so you've done a recover. So before doing the recover action, you could shut the door and then step, yeah. Okay.
No thumbs.
They can still blast the door down with fiery breath. That's not the hill there. The important thing is they don't do it to the door, they can't do it to you.
Yes.
Okay, keep phase is it? Yes. So strategy cards.
I don't want either of those. Well, one of them's a bit pointless to be honest because I've only got 6 card life. And I don't want to put any more Defender 1s in there. So, and I'm going to use it to look at the top 6 decks and rearrange them. Top 6 cards and rearrange them.
So what you do at this point is you'd shuffle that,
Yep.
put it underneath that, and then do your top 6. But you might as well do that at the end of the turn, get your other stuff out of the way, then come back and do that while they're doing their stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, there was 2 eggs, that's the question. Sure.
Well, the rest is all reinforced steps, so I won't be doing that until then. So that's my next step into reinforcing.
Yeah, reinforcements after you defend. So it's just your strategies you play now. So they're doing nothing, unless you want to ditch one to get some arm tokens.
Nope.
Cool, so then defend step, you've got 4 actions. 4 activations rather. They're getting away. They're carrying eggs.
I've got no eggs in there.
Okay.
It's a very good point.
No, neither do I.
First dragon is going to move.
What's interesting is you can't open the portal unless you're carrying an egg. So if you go first, you're just going to run into a wall. So you've got to make sure someone else goes before you so they can open the way.
So I'll put the dragon on there. I'm going to take a shot at this one.
He's going to get away.
If you're adjacent
Yeah.
to the goblin...
What,
Well, actually, no, which way's the goblin facing? Oh, yeah, so you're in the goblin front, so that means you can't
So you
attack.
could stop there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what if I were to go there instead?
Then you can bite the abyssal, but you couldn't
Couldn't shoot.
fire breath.
Alright, it's got to be that one.
Well, no, you can go to there and fire breath this one. We can bite the goblin.
Which way's the goblin in?
Goblin's
Oh, yeah,
facing
yeah,
this
yeah,
way.
yeah, go for it.
Yes, surprisingly, the goblin's running away backwards.
Still holding a cat.
So
I'll cat you.
is it?
Don't think I won't cat you. No, drop, kick the cat to get away. Well, the cat's died. We haven't kept track of where the corpse is. That's what I'm saying. He's like
One, yeah, I can take
swinging it
that.
around.
Yep.
You could
You
only
can
take
just take that, yes.
Oh, it's quite roomy
so
in
next
here.
one's going to be this Dracon. 1, 2, 3.
I didn't know there was
Four.
one.
That's going to be not quite comfortable.
Same again.
Oh dear.
I think that doesn't count yet.
Roll again.
Nice.
Yep.
Reroll.
Where's it gone?
What you get
Somewhere.
on the left.
Up on your foot.
Oh, it is as well.
No.
3, go.
Roll it again.
So 1.
Hang on. I can only reduce it by 1.
You can indeed.
Okay. Reroll any number of dice.
That involves you re-rolling dice.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But are you? Oh, you're
Defensive
aren't
one.
you?
Defensive one.
Your eye reduces.
You're only taking 1 damage
So
anyway.
you can
So
take,
1 infamy.
We'll take
we'll
you down.
take down
You're
zero.
okay. So that goes away. You do something that makes you look a bit rubbish, and in hindsight, but at least you're still standing.
Squeal slightly.
Yeah.
Hide behind the dwarf.
It's okay.
So that's 2 activations, 2 more.
That hat's very impractical for flying.
And yet,
Star points.
that's why it's only a 4 square move. The funny thing, it would be like 10, but just hold the hat on. It just also low ceilings.
can use this guy next.
Yep.
I'm going to go and open that door.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Open.
Yeah, nice.
I can move 4. No, I can move 5. I can get in there. So.
The open door bit at the end of your.
That's why I
Yeah.
shut the door.
Okay.
You could step in and stab with your spear though.
I
So
could.
you can attack from 2 squares away.
So I'm going to step in there and I'm stabbing away.
Okay. It's not
Stab with your
bad.
spear.
Another white, please. Thank you.
Ooh.
5. That's
3
nice.
damage.
So 3 damage, but yeah.
I think Tony's probably
Who's got all the damage tokens?
More damage tokens.
Kill engines on.
Let's take the 3 though.
Okay, that's him done.
Do you want to move the Drakon up behind just in case he kills the elf so that he can't get away?
I mean, you could move over here to. He's going to get away. I can't get away,
1,
but you know
2,
he's going
3.
to get away.
No, because he could kill your elf and then escape. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that he's got to kill 2 monsters at
He's
least.
got an egg already.
Yeah, but you're in a room with 2 eggs.
I'm not in a room with 2 eggs. I'm next to a room full of monsters with 2 eggs.
Full of monsters. You've
That's
got a
the
cat. A room with a cat and a Drakon in it is not a room full of monsters.
It's a cat with 1 health.
No, the dragon has 1. I
No,
agree.
Oh, the 3 with the Dragon, yeah, yeah.
The dragon's a bit mad, but not the cat.
Oh, so the slightly. So the cat is the one that's going to take you down.
Seal him in. Seal him in some more. British.
Send wave after wave after dragon.
So I can get to there with a
Chomp him.
with a Drakon and do a bit of chomping.
Exactly. That's
One,
exactly.
two. No, I can't.
No, it's 4. So
You
you've
can
got
go
on
6 though, but you can't skip it.
5. That's that one.
It's got
Okay.
the
Spin around.
backing up into a room.
You don't want to know what's around the corner.
I forgot to play a particular card I was saving just for this moment.
Oh.
Never mind.
Is that the end of your activations?
Well, actually, my friends play because they're actually members.
Oh, it's reinforcement step, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's fine. Okay, so I can. Yeah, I'm going to play that for my next one when I get to reinforcement stage anyway.
Yep.
Which is until the end of this step, reinforcements can be placed into any explode spaces on the board that are at least 4 squares from a villain.
Ooh. That actually isn't as. Yeah, get into that room probably.
So, reinforcements.
It might be a little bit too late. They might still get away, but.
As long as they're 4 squares away.
I mean,
Is that 4 squares away on there?
So it's basically.
No. You're
1,
stuck in this
2,
room.
3, 4. You
You do that room.
Counterpart movement basically.
Any explode spaces, so that's not the corridor, it's just the
Explore spaces just means anywhere that. So it's the entire board now, so you can't put them in closed rooms.
does it to activate the portal? Does that take a move, or do you
So you have to move off the board basically. So you. So it's the way villains want the board in reverse.
So I'll spend a couple of
So
points.
the goblin, you're looking at currently 1, 2, 3 points of movement to get off.
So that's too close. Find that.
So far away is 1, 2, 3. I'll be in the room.
Yeah, back here.
Ooh.
Sorry.
So that
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. So there.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That one as well. Facing
What's
away.
in here?
I've got 4 points to spend. I've got another 4 points to spend.
If they could fly.
Yeah.
So, 2 more.
That front room next to the one that's there, I'd say. Plus it's villain entry, yeah.
There we go.
Regroup here, guys.
I think it's. You've done quite a good job of mostly, 3/4 of the way staying as a twag back there. That's good.
I should have put one in a reinforcement as well.
What for the thing? Do you want to move one there? You haven't done anything different, have you? So.
How much infamy was it for an egg?
1. It's 1 point. So you don't get infamy, you get one point. So most infamy gets 2 points. Each egg
I'll
gives you
put
1
one
point.
in there and immediately activate it.
Yep.
And then there's loot. Usually.
Loot also gives you 2 points.
So I'm going to move to there,
Mm-hmm.
facing that way.
Yeah. Is that a back
That is
shot?
back.
That is, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm going to take a shot, so
So
that's...
going there instead.
He's right, actually, yeah. Because then otherwise I'll be blocking him, won't I?
Yeah.
Well, suddenly he's only in favour here, you know. So that's
Two oranges
Have
not
they
getting
not-
out of that
How
room,
many
do they?
activations have you had?
How many, sorry?
So,
Activations.
this one's...
This is a freebie for the card.
Yeah. from the card.
And
Yeah.
one of them gets to go, or all of
This
them
is
get
in the reinforcement step after you've brought one, you can just bring. You can
Yeah.
you activate one immediately. Oh,
Why?
That's going to hurt.
that's 3 damage. Good. You're not dead yet. That's good.
Not far, not far.
14 damage, so you're quite pretty tough.
So I can...
That's it. So now you draw back up to. Oh yeah. So before you shuffle
these,
that,
and then I'll
yeah.
walk to 6.
you guys draw back up to 2 disorder cards.
Keep them out of the for now.
You're going to discard one.
Yep.
I've got an escalation.
All good. What's the escalation?
Escalation is when this card is revealed, place it face up in the room. So the villain drew card draws an extra one. In each start phase, the keep master gains 1 additional alarm token.
So that's we've got bragging, bickering, and scheming all happening at once. It's the full combo. Okay. New round, shuffle the initiative tokens. I'll let you do that. I'll do this bit. Choose over here.
Sorry.
2.
Sort of.
And those 2 initiative tokens as well, please.
Oh, sorry.
That's alright.
I've got an extra alarm token. That's not good, is it?
Okay. Take your pick. Okay. 6 alarm tokens because of the bickering that's occurring. And yeah, draw up to hand of 5. And it's the start phase.
Okay.
So
So, go first.
who's got what order in? Number 1, lovely.
Okay. I'll
Sorry, any swaps first? Any initiative swaps?
I'm good.
I could swap if you fancy.
I'm good because I'm thinking I can at least
Considering
open the
you
portal.
You do owe me a dragon egg, so I'm very sure.
What number you got anyway?
I've got number 4.
I've been number
Thing
4
is,
for most of this
He
game.
is under no obligation to actually give the dragon egg.
Indeed, but it's
So,
a couple of bits of infamy.
Um,
And the egg you already owe me.
Now's the time.
yeah, I'm playing that. So I'm going to activate a defender
Well,
at the start.
technically, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. They can decide who's going first.
Yeah, you can decide first, but I'm still going to do that before you do the first turn.
What are you doing?
I'm activating a Glade Stalker. This one in the room here.
Yep.
And I'm going to shoot at the dwarf.
Yep.
Because he's nearly dead, so why not? And I'm behind as well, so...
Hello.
You.
Are we
Still
still
going?
alive, I believe? Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Nearly done. It's
Okay.
give me death throws.
We'll back out. So we're not back out.
So that's...
3 more damage.
2 more damage.
Yep.
Which puts me on. Still on.
Good wish. We
Not quite dead yet. Wait, you still count them? Does that mean you're subdued?
So 6. So he's 11.
Okay. You're still standing. So who's going first? That's the question.
Me. Okay. Start my thing. I'm going to play this. You get Keep Master gets 2 alarm tokens.
Thank you.
Drawing a dead.
And you get how many infamy?
2.
With the +1?
Yep. I mean, I should have got an additional one for. No, because I stole that one, didn't I?
Possibly. Yeah.
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 So, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6.
So that's 1 action so far.
Flip.
Yoink. You take one of the loot cards that would normally picks up a loot counter and is in your front arc. He's not.
Oh, he's not in your front.
No,
He's behind you.
No,
Oh, no,
no, I'm here.
It's up there.
I had a problem seeing it.
Anti-yoink.
So, I get a loot token.
Yeah.
Oh, his loot card's bad.
And
The loot cards are all good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then move off.
Okay. 1 goblin down. Who's number 2?
I've opened the way.
I'm
Yep.
number 2. Great. So
I believe in you.
let's see.
You
So
can do this.
can I get those eggs? It's a good question. Maybe.
You might get the eggs. Just
Yeah,
get back
alright.
up.
One of the upgrade spells that lets you teleport. I kind of think that'd be a really useful thing right about now.
Yes. Can you move away? Do you get free hits if you run past people in the front arc?
Yes, so if you leave a model's front arc, they hit you, but you also can't move through a door diagonally if there's someone in the way.
Okay, how much damage do they do if you run through them?
They just make an attack against you.
Okay, do you get defense as normal?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to burn the.
You
house
can't just go
spinner.
straight arm, American football,
Yeah.
make a break for it kind of thing.
So that is.
6. So 4 damage. Do you want to chuck an infamy in to make it 5 and kill him?
Yeah. So
So
I'll
that's
kill him.
one dead elf. Roll the alarm die.
So I get 2 free back as well.
Yep.
Alarm, unfortunately.
Told you.
So I can.
2 actions left.
So I can free move and move
Your
to
top.
there.
Yeah.
Open the door.
Okay.
Gonna go for it. Why not?
For so many reasons.
How many health does that thing have?
Dracon's got 1 health left.
Got 1.
Okay, for my second action, I'm going to drain life on that. What?
I like your optimism.
1. Okay, so you lose.
That's
life.
killed it at least.
Dies.
Roll the loot die. So 4, it's going to drop some stuff.
No, not
No.
1 second. It's going badly. So
You're about to be swamped.
I'm going to step. So I can step through and close the door, maybe. And then shoot the cat.
If I find the door, they'll never find me. You ever seen the film Panic Room?
So I'll step in and close the door.
How are you going to get back out?
It's a great question.
This is a good question. This is why.
Don't tell him.
Hey cat, it's you and me.
Yeah, I have to shoot the cat, I reckon.
Well, you're going to need food. I mean,
Could you just go and pick up the dragon eggs?
I can't pick up both dragon eggs.
Why?
Because I can't
Fact-
them, so I can't go out.
and you can't shoot the cat. You haven't got any attacks left.
I do.
What have you got?
I attacked. I can lose normal, can't I, or not?
Well, you can't shoot unless you've got a ranged weapon.
So, I thought I could.
You can fight, so you step up and kick a cat. 2 dice.
I have to 7 kick the cat, I guess. Or I can collect stuff. I can just do that instead. I can move and take that.
No, because you're going to the cat's front arc.
But
don't
that
you?
is fun.
Yes, as long as you don't move out the front arc, you're okay.
So I can do that. You see.
Yeah.
Dragon egg. It's going well. Okay. What's the worst?
Brilliant. I think we're going to find out. Number 3.
I may not be getting out of here alive.
Cheese it.
Yeah, I'm not coming away with this anything other than
Do you want dragon egg?
I've already got one, thanks. Yeah.
I think there's a sensible choice here.
Steve,
Do you want dragon egg?
Don't be a hero.
don't be the hero. That's Tim's role.
I would like to use the hiking sprint to move, in effect, 15 squares.
Yes.
Just sort of generally.
Just give some alarm tokens.
So have 3 more alarm tokens.
How much disorder did you get? Oh no.
Oh, it's just an ability.
That's it. It's going to go well. Maybe I get out of here alive.
So, keep phase. Strategy step.
It's not around like we do.
I mean, I think this is the first time the Keep Master isn't going to win this one. Unless something really bad happens now.
Well, the only thing I'm going to play the remove defender from the board and set it up in any explode square on the board. You can choose its spacing and take any damage and so on. So I'm going to take
Yep.
that one. And that. I don't think there's any need to discard anything.
No, I think at this point it's all kind of moot, really.
I'll be fine. I'll be getting out of here. It'll be okay. I'll go for it.
Just sit sort of all down the pearl afterwards.
Yeah, okay, so on to the next bit.
It's been a day.
Again.
So 4 activations.
Well, sorry, dragon died. So
Right, well, I'm going to start with the tall spear.
Sensible choice.
Just going to attack.
3 dice.
You're going to be fine.
Probably. Your defense 2 is pretty chunky. 1 damage.
One damage.
One damage.
Definitely 1,000 cuts.
Drain life.
You
next
can
turn.
make it. You can make your way out of this dungeon. You're fine.
I
You've
might
got
be able to.
extra armor.
Just like stomping your way through.
Lovely.
Elder clinging onto your arms.
Carbon. I get a free attack.
Yes.
Okay, I'm staying up.
Yeah, that was done. That was done.
Alright, so that's the
Next
next thing
one.
he's going to do. I'm going to do the cat. I'm
Yay!
going to do the cat, so that's 2 whites.
Is that upgrade for having a buddy?
No.
So he's
I'll
got
do it.
anything. Why not?
2 activations.
Just because you don't get me activated.
Just fill that
If you
room.
want to screw me over, you should have waited around here.
So
That would screw me more.
no, because we might have been killed, and then
Oh, no.
the dungeon
I've got
master would
6
have
health
won.
left.
That was injured enough for a goblin. I went into my room, right on the opposite end of the map, and got out
3
safely.
before open the door. And
Yep.
That's him done.
We do that teleport spell. I thought quite good.
And 1, 2.
That's a decent disorder cast.
So I'm going to drop on there. 2.
Air effect as well, don't I?
Yeah, again, some of the upgrade cards you can get will do that sort of thing. But that's not up to you right now.
What you might want to do is seal in the villain exit point with the ones at the other end, so that even if he manages to get past those,
So we go. So.
Okay, so I'll spend it on that. So I'll
Run
to
towards the
move,
gun line.
to move him. So
Yep.
it's 1, 2, 3 eggs there.
Uh-huh.
And then he's already got a bit of damage.
I'm
so
sure you can't just teleport off the board.
I'll spend 2 more
Okay.
to move this one. 1, 2, 3,
It's not like you need much in the way of reinforcements, is it? Let's face it.
4, 5. Well, I don't really need reinforcements. So I'll spend another 3 there to bring this one over. 2, 3, 4.
I'm not sure it's going to Mantic. I'm just getting any hell life, so let's see how it goes. Spend all the rest of it.
Any last bits?
Any
No,
last
not
words?
what I can actually do with it, to be honest.
No, I think you're pretty much.
I'm still
Bring
alive.
some reinforcements in,
I've
why
got a
not?
reinforcement in there, so that's
Yeah.
now 2 points.
Keep us off the ball.
And
remember?
sorry. And I can play a card to immediately activate
Yeah,
it,
nice.
just to be a little bit annoying. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there you go.
I'll get a load of info on the way out, though, won't I? Let's
Um,
kill as many as I can. Be
I'll
fine.
spend
How
2
much
more
out of interest?
I'm not that much.
to get that one in.
It's not going too bad. I'll
That's
also
the
lose,
one there.
possibly might lose 200 dice with me when I die. That's it.
And then
You could always run that one who's already on the board through.
That's true.
Run that one.
That
over.
well, that cost quite a lot of alarm token at this point. It's already activated 3 more, I think. So
okay,
4 tokens.
So,
Cool.
lose.
Okay, is that the end?
that is all I can do.
So
So yeah,
just
that
wait
goes.
for your token and get it
Yeah.
drawn. There we go.
Those of you that are off the board, you can still draw. You still draw disorder cards. Most of them won't be any use to you, but he doesn't know that.
That's true. Okay, so can I discard these and
You
draw
can
2
start
more?
both if you want to. Yeah.
No, discard that.
There are a couple of cards there that you'll be able to use if you're off the board.
Do you go back to the deck again? So you did get the.
You do.
So,
Obviously, once the escalations are out,
there we go. There's only 3 escalations.
there's only 3. Yeah.
That's good to know. Okay.
Right then. So keep master draws back up to 5 keep cards. Then gets 5. Oh, sorry. No, you only get 2 alarm tokens this turn.
What a shame.
Because it's the defenders have gone. Well, it's probably mostly over now, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll shuffle around that 1 initiative token. And
I'll go first then.
what are the
shall I?
chances? Yeah.
I'll go first. Okay, so I'm going to incinerate the tall sphere.
So
You can only
one
know
goes
that.
on defense by 3.
Hilarious as that would be.
Can I actually incinerate this tall sphere next to me or not?
It's a ranged attack. You cannot. You have to
Okay.
fight,
Lovely.
which you're not particularly
Good
proficient
at.
at.
That's true.
You're probably better off just trying to kick a cat and move out of the way. Which I think we call it glumming in this. After what happened earlier.
So I could kill the cat, I guess, couldn't I?
You could kill a cat. You're downgrading a dice because there's a tool spirit on it. You're only rolling 1 white die to do it, but you're going to need to, otherwise you're literally stuck there.
Okay, so I'll drain the life off the cat first.
Yeah.
I can defend against that, can't I?
Drain off ignores defense.
Okay, that's fine.
3 dice. That's 3 lives for the cat gone. I can then try and kill the cat.
Yeah.
Did you get your infamies?
It's not dead yet.
It's not
Oh,
dead
it's
yet.
not.
And I'm still going to bump up his defence.
Cat is now defence 3,
So 2, great, this is not going well.
down to 1 because you're outnumbered there.
And you can't hurt it.
So I can't hurt the cat, so there's no point doing that, is there?
No, but at least you've spent that card that he's got. So your third action, then be kicking the cat again.
Okay, so I'm not bothering that, so then I'll
You
kick
just
the
need to
cat.
get at least a 1.
You still downgrade the not because you're just 2.
Yeah, so down
Down to 1.
Down to 1.
You can just not roll a blank, basically. No, I said that, of course.
What's that? Good word to use.
Because the cat have no armour.
Yeah.
No. Hey!
Dead cat.
Dead cat. So
Roll the loot die. Not that it's gonna. I get 9 for killing the cat.
do I get him a kill cat?
No. There's no prize we found here. The long token.
So I can move 1 square, can't I?
You can indeed, yeah.
I'm slightly nearer there.
And then into the keep phase.
We might call
I
it.
thought, should we call it there? Should we call it? We'll say.
It's clear I'm going to get out.
You. I think you might just about make it, but yeah. Whatever the case, that is. We'll call it an end there. So let's see how we've done. First of all, reveal your loot tokens. If you didn't make it, let's say you haven't made it off the board. I think it's fair to say that's happened.
I think that's unfair. I mean, clearly I've done it easy. The other way.
Shall we vote on it?
It's not
I
very-
can't see a vote vote anyway.
Everyone left on the board should get a vote.
What I'll do, you can either keep your loot or your infamy, your choice.
So are there any benefits to have second most infamy or not?
No.
So I'm going to keep my loot then.
Cool. Okay. So, who has the most loot value?
I have 1.
Good
2.
stuff.
I have 2 and I actually made it up.
I have
Yep.
7.
7. Okay. Yep. Well, so you would still. I mean, even if you discarded, you'd have to discard one of them. So
I
you'd
have
still end up
6.
with more. Yeah. Exactly. So you get 2 points. Who has the most infamy?
12.
2 points. 1 point for each Dracon egg.
2!
And Keepmaster can have 2 points for subduing this one.
Yeah, so I get 1 dragon egg.
So who gets the most points then?
So you got 2. I got 2. You got 2.
You got.
I got 1.
Is that like a 3-way draw?
Unless
Or-
Rich wants to make do on his deal. Otherwise, it's a draw and we don't win. I'm just saying.
You have a choice between losing or drawing. It's a hard choice.
There are only 2 donuts. How's that going to work? Draw to the death. I mean, well, whatever the case, that is, yeah, that's the end of that. Yeah, okay.
That's pretty good.
Well,
It's not bad.
I'll let you fight over that one. The one there. There's also some of these donuts for everyone, so jump in, feel free. Did you enjoy yourself? That's the important question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Squeeze past this one.
So I think team up
Thank you, everyone.
I'm sitting there because the level of backside.